Hello, hello. Today's game is against Dioo, and again, I had Dioo's consent to make this video. So, spoiler alert, we actually do lose this game, and we actually get beat up pretty badly. And I was kind of reluctant to make this one because Goulder actually looks really bad in this game. But even though we lose, I still think there's a lot to learn from this game, and I wanted to put it in to hopefully you can pick something up from it and apply it into your own games. So Dioo is probably in my top 5 most respected players in the game. I know he runs pretty meta comp, but I've played probably 10 to 12 matches against him. He does not rely on his, super hard, overpowered Tems to win him games. He could definitely run an off meta comp and climb the ladder. So let's just jump right into this. So first thing we do every game, we look for wins. So it looks like a terrible matchup for us, right? We have 5 toxics up against 4 wins, but you can always use pick ban to make things more manageable for yourself. Even though I actually think we mess up in pick ban a little bit here, but we still get it down to something that's, reasonable. So we look to open mix every game in this spot, and it's pretty clear. He doesn't really have any cagers, so there's nothing really to look out for turn 2. He does have Rise, which is annoying, especially on leads, but we're still going to open mix. And then Dioo loves this Ukama Nidrasil open. I think he pretty much leads it on me all the time, and we usually have a pretty good answer to it. And this is where I make my first mistake in the game. So we end up picking Goulder here, which makes a lot of sense if you just look at base stats and move pools and traits and don't think about items or whatnot. But this actually should have been our Nidrasil. We kind of forgot that Goulder isn't running energy drink this game. We're still kind of new to it, and it's not so. We don't bring Nidrasil here, and the Nidrasil gets second ban, and so we kind of tunnel vision on what was going on right here, and we had success with this open against him before. But we needed the energy drink. We should have been looking here as well, seeing Grandpa have Hypno, pick at Hypno. His Nidrasil also ended up being a unique build, so it was a speedy Nidrasil and it also had Hypno. And not having our energy drink in this game just absolutely killed us. And the difference between these two Tems on the open is not that big. Obviously, neither of these Tems can do anything to Goulder turn 1. But the only thing we're afraid of is a toxic ink from his own Nidrasil, but the difference wasn't big enough to leave our energy drink out of the match. And that's where we mess up in having Goulder in this game. Like I said, he does not look good in this game. He spends a lot of time sleeping. And if we had Nidrasil, the match is a lot closer. Especially when we know we're second banning Whiplump and we're going to fight Grandpa. We kind of just picked it on impulse and didn't spend enough time thinking about it. And then like I said, he bans Nidrasil. Speed this up a little bit. So he picks Grandpa. Grandpa's a Tem that we do not like to fight against, so it has 4 moves we just don't like: Wind Burst, Hyper, Turbo, and Hypno. So Grandpa is always public enemy number 1, and we'll just try to take him down. We just stop. If Grandpa's on the board, we just stop We stop what we're doing and just put all of our resources into the Grandpa. And that's pretty much how we went about going about our pick ban the rest of the way. But I actually think I make a mistake picking Mastion here as well, because Mastion, at the end of the draft, I kind of looked and realized that Mastion wasn't really going to do anything in this game, especially because the Nidrasil ended up being a speed build and had Hypno. So he ends up bringing Pig as well. So he has 3 Hypnoers. They're all faster. And then he has Ukama, and then he has Gaialis, who he's still losing a 1v1 against, right? So this was a game, we always try to bring 3 Toxics, but we didn't do it this game because we saw the Grandpa and we saw the Pig behind and we got kind of scared. But we needed Mashuk in this game instead of this wasn't doing anything in this match. And then we bring Platypus instead because we're just thinking about this and what's the strongest move to take this out, and that's Aquatic Whirlwind. So It kind of sucks to not have our rock shield as well, but we should have swapped it out for Mastione. We're just gonna get right into this. So wait, well, so at the end of the draft, so we have 5 toxics. He has 4 wins, but we ban 2 of his wins, and then we get it to something that's much more like reasonable. Like we're still behind, but it's not as bad as it appears at first, right? I mean, we only end up having 2 of our toxics. Like I said, I wish we brought 3, but it's a it doesn't look terrible anymore from when you first look at our Tems of 8. So turn 1, we make a huge mistake, and it just pretty much snowballs into several more throughout the match. So what I'm thinking is here, like the simple play is to just Crystal Spike into Toxic Ink, right? But I think he's going to swap here, and I think it's going to be Pig, and I don't know if this is a flaw in my game or this is, I don't know, but I just have this fear of getting my sweatband snared, especially early in matches, because Mix is such a carry Tem for me. So I don't want to get sweatband snared, so I direct the Crystal Spike into the Yggdrasil, and then I ink what I think is going to be a Pig. And then my plan turn 2 is to spike the Pig and ink the Pig, and that series of moves, so like an ink, a spike, and then another ink, will put Pig. Pig will die to the Poison Tick, and we won't proc Fainted Curse. So that was my game plan. But he actually doesn't end up swapping at all, which is the right play. Like, his 3 Tems in the back are all super important to the match, so he's not going to want to swap them in to take, a huge chunk of damage turn 1. Like, if he's probably thinking, like, okay, if I went to swap Pig in here, he's going to eat a spike, and he's going to eat ink, and he's going to be below 50%, and this is a Tem, he needs throughout the match. But he didn't need Ukama to win this game. Like, Ukama wasn't doing anything in the Platymus, our Ukama, and our Boulder. He's good in a Mastione, but he didn't need Ukama to kill our Mastione this game, especially because he knew his Yggdrasil was fast and had Hypno. So as long as the Mastione doesn't have Energy Drink, like even if he does have Energy Drink, it's just fine. Like, you can kill him with Grandpa, you can kill him with Gaialis. Like, he doesn't need the Ukama to help kill Mastione. So we spike the slugs. And then he just intentionally puts our Mix in Puppet Master, so he just doesn't care and is setting up a Tsunami for turn 2. So he kind of has a similar team like ours, where he just doesn't really care too much about Mix. Like, he has, 2 AoE users on the field right now. We also ban his Whiplump and his Bowlerin, so he has at least 4 Tems with AoE moves. Our team is like the same. I think 6 of our 8 Tems have AoE moves, so we just don't ever really care if Mix is in Puppet Master or not. And I should have realized that as well, that this Yggdrasil was going to be tough to move off the field turn 1. And I shouldn't have cared if I just got my sweatband snared or not, because it was going to be hard to keep Mix on the field this game anyway, because the Yggdrasil was here, because he has the AoE move on a 1-hold, right? So now I'm just way behind, and I don't want to lose Mix, because I preserved him to not have. I wanted to make sure he didn't lose Sweatband turn 1 so I could use him throughout the game. Now I feel like I have to stick to that. I just have to run here anyway because I just died to Tsunami, right? I mean, I guess I could trade with this. If I could spike this, we could trade. But then I don't have anything to kill his Grandpa. So we swap in Platymus here, and we go for an ink on the Ukama. And then we just get put to sleep. Like I said, I wouldn't have expected that anyway, because not a lot of Yggdrasils are fast running Hypno. So you just tip your hat to that. But if this is Yggdrasil, like this Ukama, like even with the mistake we make turn 1, if this is Yggdrasil, this Ukama is just dead this turn because we have Energy Drink. Then again, like you could say that, but like Pickman, plays out completely differently and stuff. Maybe he doesn't make the same decisions. Like maybe he just thinks, okay, Ninja Cell might have energy drink. I'm not going to sleep it or something. But I think he was just ready to just sack the Ukama because he knew his Tems in the back could just carry the match. And then this is a spot where we're looking for a Toxic to swap in because we just hate not being able to, our whole point of our team is we like to be aggressive and we don't like things to be not doing anything. And we don't have another Toxic to swap in, even though we usually always bring, like, we're just comfortable always bringing 3 Toxics. So I'm just, like, expecting to have one to bring in here so I can do something with it next turn. Because I want to Urusha roll this Ukama slot. But I have to just sleep because I only brought 2 Toxics with me. But this is where we make our second huge mistake. So like I said, in pick ban, like Grandpa's we always stop what we're doing to take it down immediately. But we kind of get away from our game plan and kind of what we are. So our play here should just be Ink and Aquatic, the Grandpa. And I Aquatic the Grandpa, but I go for an Ink on the Ninja Cell, and I literally have no explanation for what I was doing, what I was expecting. I think if I remember, I was pretty sure the Aquatic would put him under the 37.5%, so the poison ticks would kill. But after the turn, I'll explain why you just need to double this spot. And we're not afraid of the hyper on this exact turn because we know our Platinums and our Golder can both survive it. And even if he had Hypnoed, if he couldn't Hypno here because we're alerted, if he Hypnos here where the Aquatic goes first and then we get the Zen buffs as well. I don't know why we do this. This is just dumb. Okay, so after the turn, the Grandpa, we don't put it in that 37% slot, and so we're like 6% off, right? It doesn't die to poison ticks, which is what we were hoping would happen, and which is why we need to double the slot because then the Grandpa does die because the Ink does at least 6%, right? It probably does closer to like 12, maybe 15, I don't know, but for sure the Grandpa is dead in 2 turns to the poison ticks. But why we should have doubled that slot anyway, even if we were sure, is because let's say we were right and it did. Let's say that Aquatic Whirlwind put him exactly at 37.5%. So then after the first poison tick went, he'd be exactly at 25 right now, right? So he's at 25% and he dies to poison ticks in 2 turns. But if we ink him as well, he dies in 1 turn. So he gets a hyper off here, but then he dies at the end of the next turn, right? Because he'd be under 12.5% if we had inked him. And if we were right, if that all makes sense. It's all hypothetical, but if we just inked him, he would have died a turn sooner. But now he doesn't even die at all. And then this play I just completely misread. I think this is going to be a hyper here, and then a hypno here. But he doesn't really have any reason to hypno, I guess. Unless he's trying to protect Grandpa. But I end up bringing in Mix here because I think a hypno is coming. And I'm not sure if we can survive +2 hyper. We do have Coat. I think it's going to be close, but I just click Tsunami anyway, and I'm ready to sack Platy. But this is actually completely just the wrong play in every which way. This should be a Mix swap in here because Mix is in Puppet Master. And then just hyper the Goulder. Because the Goulder's irrelevant to the match at this point, right? Like they're both sped up. They have 3 Hypnoers. And the Goulder just, he doesn't do anything anymore. Like we should have been saving the Platy. Like the Platy can help with the Ukama later in the game. But instead we sack Platy instead and preserve Goulder for some reason. Speed this up. So we don't even get to play right, and it ends up being a turbo and a hyper. So our Platy definitely doesn't survive this. But if we just swap Mix in here and redirected the hyper onto Gulder, I think Gulder even tanks that. Which, like, I guess, we wouldn't really care either way. If he died, then, whatever. If he had, like, 10% HP, then they have to put another resource into him, I guess. But then again, they probably don't even care about him, so I probably would have rather him just died that turn. And then we're just so far behind now, we just can't come back. We're just 100% getting Hypnoed here. And we need to kill Pig. So I think this turn we just end up doubling in a Pig, just trying to kill it with Ukama, like to have the spikes go first and the water cannon go second, but this is never getting a move off anyway. So this turn, since we know that Ninja Shell is fast, we're kind of just expecting the Ninja Shell to put damage into Ukama. And we think we're pulling a fast one on him, and we're going to Blizzard the Ninja Shell because the Blizzard will go last because it's low prio. But he sees it coming and bamboozles his Ninja Shell, or maybe he was just protecting it from the spikes. I don't know, but I'll give him credit for it. And I don't even remember what we do with Mix. We don't want Mix to die. Oh yeah, it has allergic spread, so we have to run anyway. So we just bring in Gulder to tank the poison. Speed this up. This next turn, I really have no explanation for what I was doing. It's just an embarrassing play. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to. The only way I can kill this Pig without the Fainted Curse proccing is pollution on Gulder. And I don't know. I'm just like hoping that he just bamboozles Pig and we break the bamboozle and then we pollution. But he bamboozles the Ninja Shell and then we just kill Pig with Ukama, or we kill Pig with our Ukama, and then our Gulder's pollutions 110. That's bamboozled. So yeah, this is just like a terrible game for Gulder, but it's not his fault. If it's the Ninja Shell, the match is a lot different. If we bring Ninja Shell, the Ukama is probably dead right now. And if we double into the Grandpa that turn, the Grandpa's dead as well. It's a lot closer game. The Pig still controls a lot of the game, but it's much more winnable. Obviously, the game can play out different, though, but speed this up. But we just get put to sleep anyway. Forgetting in-game and forgetting now. Just so used to having our Gulder with energy drink. Now we're pretty much just too far behind to win the game. I don't really think there's any relevant turns the rest of the way. I think we just water cannon here with our last breath. We keep Gulder on because we want the toxic synergy again. I'm looking for a toxic to swap in, but I don't have one. And I guess that Spores was just to make sure we didn't swap in or something. I thought he was actually going to Spores his own Guy Alice here. Then we bring in Mastion, but Mastion's like 100% not getting move off this turn, right? Because Hypno's online and he has Haito. So like we're too far behind. Doesn't matter at this point, but we should have brought in Mex here to redirect everything in here, and then we just stay on with Gluter. We're just hoping he makes. We had like when it's late in a game and you're behind, you just kind of have to hope your opponent makes mistakes. So we're just inking this Yggdrasil, hoping that he's going to swap it out, because both swap in Tems are one shot to Toxic Ink, right? The Ukama dies to Toxic Ink, and so does the Grandpa. But he's never swapping. Like he just forces you to kill the 2 Tems on the board, because the Ukama comes in and has Aquatic Whirlwind online, and the Grandpa's +4 with Hypno and Bully. Sometimes when you have these like super tanky toxic Tems, you'll just like, I'm guilty of this sometimes, where you just think you get free switch-ins. So like I'll have my Gulder sitting on the field and I'll be like, okay, they're never attacking Gulder here. I'll just swap in Ukama for free or something. And I guess that's what I was just hoping he was going to do. And like I said, we're just too far behind. We just can't come back now. So the play I should have made last turn, because the ink, like the Gulder eats the ink, and then the Gulder eats the Haito, because we have Punching Bag, and he doesn't get put to sleep because we were alerted last turn. But again, it all didn't matter. The Mastiani wasn't going to carry us, like even if it's full health right now. So I think that's really it. So the whatever, like we just spike here and kill whatever comes in, but he's never swapping here. Like he's just letting Yggdrasil die. Did way more than enough work this game, and then he comes in with Ukama or Grandpa just to clean up. So, Dioo, if you have any comments on this game and you want to let me know, maybe I could edit something into the video or something. Or to anyone who made it this far, thanks for watching. Hopefully you picked up something from it. We definitely messed up pick ban, tunnel visioning a little bit. Tunnel visioning. I'm not saying that right. But we should have brought Yggdrasil. We needed our energy drink. We needed to realize that sleep was going to be a big deal this game. And then we just make mistakes in game that could have made it a lot closer. So thanks for watching. Hopefully I will have another video out tomorrow.